Manning's Malcolm and Ours. For master historian Professor Manning Marable of Columbia University, a book on the lives of Malcolm X could only be a challenge that would daunt the faint-hearted. Dr. Marable, founder of half a dozen Black Studies programs at colleges and universities across the country, would meet that challenge that demanded decades of study, reflection, and writing to produce Malcolm X, A Life of Reinvention, published by Viking this year. It'll stand as his masterwork, for Marable died at 61 just days before its release. It captures the tone and tenor of the times, the quiescent 50s, the roiling 60s, and the equally turbulent, never-resting spirit of Malcolm X, years before his X, as hustler, prisoner, convert, minister, activist, exile, revolutionary organizer, and martyr. Marable questions large parts of the classical texts drawn from the autobiography of Malcolm X, which is more the work of Alex Haley than the subject, showing much of the internal correspondence of Haley and the editors, shaping the form, tone, and content of the work. The book, however, is not free of critique. It opines that both Malcolm and Dr. Betty Shabazz, his wife, had dalliances that seems to stain their memory. Moreover, he suggests Malcolm may have been involved in a homosexual affair. These seem more speculation than proof, however. Finally, Dr. Marable treats the COINTELPRO type files and FBI interests and actions as givens, normalized, and to be expected instead of the unconstitutional and indeed criminal race police that they functioned as against Malcolm, the Nation of Islam, and even the pacifist movement led by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Nor does he note how laughably unreliable their files often were. There is much here that is new. Malcolm's teenage fascination with white women and their identity, police tracking of Malcolm since the mid-1950s, the internal dynamics of the Nation of Islam, and Malcolm's courting of the Muslim Brotherhood of Egypt. There is, too, the tragedy of its writer, who, if in better health, and perhaps with more time, could have devoted more of his prodigious intellect to polish a work of such length and complexity. That said, the work, Malcolm X, shines because of the brilliance not only of its author, but of its principal subject, Malcolm X. For his life was one of constant reinvention, in an age when the nation itself and Black Americans were in the process of transformation. America was trying to shed its apartheid past, and Negroes were becoming Black people and African Americans, and some, like Malcolm himself, citizens of an emerging international community. Marable has made virtually, with his last breath, a bold and mammoth addition to our storehouse of knowledge. Of that we and he should be proud, for by painting Malcolm thusly, he makes him more human, more like us all. From Death Row, this is Mumia Abu Jamal. These commentaries are recorded by Noel Hanrahan of Prison Radio.